Hi, I'm Danielle with Ribbon Storage. Welcome to my craft room. Today I'm making one of the cards from my Coral, Flowers, and Pearls card kit. Let's get started. I'm going to make the card front by putting 1/4 inch removable double-sided tape on the debossed side of my Nita brand cardstock. If you bought my card kit, I've already embossed the cardstock for you. But if you're making this at home, embossing your paper just adds a little bit of extra detail and layer to your card. Next, I'm going to use my lime damask. It's a 2.5 inch ribbon. And you want to make sure you're putting the tape on the back side of the ribbon. You can tell because the damask is shiny on the front. So we want to make sure the tape goes on the back side. And I'm just going to put this right in the center. And you know what? If you're a little bit towards the top or the bottom, it won't really matter with this card. It's just that added fun, that added homemade feel to it. Then I'm going to put my tape on the back of this Coral Flowers. And it's obvious which is the back because it's all white on the back. And I'm going to center that up in the middle of my damask, right there. And make sure you're leaving enough on both sides to wrap it around. Then we're using our Dipani with pearls. I mean, how great is that? You can see that linen texture, that linen weave it's got. And you're going to put it on the back. Now you know it's the back because you can see the wire sewn into it because this is a wired ribbon. You can see that on the back and you want to put the tape on that side. Then we're going to center that and pull it tight. That will help you kind of center it and keep your pearls all lined up. There we go. Now we're going to use our Coral grosgrain. It has a really cool rib texture to it. A lot of times you see these, this ribbon used for like hair ribbon or whatever, but you know what? It's just as good for this. It just gives you that added texture and that added detail. We'll put one right there. And then I'm going to do the other two, one for the top and one for the bottom. And I'm just going to put this with a little bit, you can center it if you want. I'm going to put it a little bit closer to my lime. Again, making sure you leave enough on the sides to wrap around. And I have to go a little bit slower because the ribbon is just barely wider than my tape. And whatever distance I did right here, I'm going to make sure I do it the same down here. Leave that same amount of white between the ribbon at the bottom, at both the top and the bottom. And I have a little bit of extra tape there, so I just rubbed it and it rubs right off. Now we're going to go ahead and wrap that around our card front. So put your tape all around the edges. It just helps your ribbon stick as you fold that around. So that one didn't stick, but that's okay. Just pull it down and then you're just gonna go right on over it anyway. You wanna kind of secure all your ribbon in place anyway. We've got lots of layers there and you wanna make sure it sticks to your card base and everything stays tight and where you want it to be. So we're just gonna do that by going right over the top of it with our double-sided tape. And again, I'm using a 1/4 inch removable double-sided tape. Then we're gonna put this on our card base. And I'm doing this first. I know the pearls aren't on yet, but I'm doing this first because now I'm gonna use my Scotch quick drying tacky glue to put my pearls on. And this way it's all done and all I have to do is put my pearls on and I can let them dry for a minute. I'm super impatient, so I always do this very last so I can just be done and then come back to it when I'm ready for it. And I'm just gonna put a little dot right where I want my pearls to go and just space your dots evenly. And if you put a little too much glue on, that's why I like this glue because it dries clear. So if it overlaps a little bit or the glue kind of spills out over the edges, which mine often does, kind of did right there, you can see that, then it will dry clear and nobody will even know. And I'm gonna try to do the same kind of spacing we did right there. See, that wasn't perfect, but look, it won't even matter because we're gonna put our pearls on. And I'm using a pair of dental tweezers. Now the reason I use dental tweezers is because they're ribbed inside. I'll put a link to this these tweezers, I get them on Amazon. I buy like a dozen at a time because I feel like I use them for everything. And the dental tweezers have a rib right in the middle, which makes it easy to hold, easier to pick up and hold these flat back embellishments that I use all the time in my cards. You can pick them up because the flat back just catches right in that ridge, and it makes it easier to hold on and position them. Hey, that looks pretty good. If you needed to, you could move them and adjust them a little bit because the glue will dry clear, and the grosgrain is forgiving. It won't, sometimes with satin, if your glue spills out too much, it'll leave kind of a watermark, but the grosgrain doesn't. So you're flexible there, and you can be a little more carefree and move it around if you need to. But I'm gonna leave that and let that dry. And then once it's dry, make sure you put a message in it, don't save it, send it.